Alright, welcome to the bonus reading episode. This is pure reading, 20-some threads, all in one episode. This ain't gonna be all in one sitting for me, that's for sure. For you it will be. Let's get started. Farewell Atlantis with attachment. Farewell Atlantis. The end of Gehenna is getting close. You know that what we built here matters to me in ways that were just too complicated to fit in a post. Perhaps I can say it's like the blacksmith does, by creating a world. It's not as big or as detailed as I wanted it to be, but I like the thought that even though I will probably be no more than a memory, a static set of facts about someone who once existed, this little work of interactive fiction might continue to be functional. Even in whatever place our memories will soon ascend to, maybe someone, someday, will play it and get a glimpse of who we were, but mainly, I made it for you, all of you. It's too late for praise or feedback or discussion, so I'm locking this thread, but if you want to talk, just talk, and let's talk while we can. Attachment. We can play another game. Farewell Atlantis. Farewell Atlantis, a story of things ending. Begin. Choose your character class. Scientist, physician, magician, farmer, poet. Let's be a farmer. You're outside on your farm, which lies near the western shores of Atlantis. You've been working for several hours, preparing for the harvest, when you suddenly come across a strange stone embedded in the ground. Dig it up, or leave it alone. Dig it up, you're a farmer. It's not just a stone, it's part of a column. And the more you dig, the more you find. It's like there's a whole building buried there. Right under your farm. Keep digging. No, you begin to realize it's more than just a building, it's a city. A city older than Atlantis. How much was he digging to realize it was a whole city? How is that even possible? But you know it's true. You feel like you're about to have some kind of insight when a voice interrupts your thoughts. Excuse me, my friend, but the King of Atlantis has requested your presence. Talk to the messenger. The messenger is indeed a servant of Poseidon's, the King of Atlantis, Poseidonos. You have been summoned to court, he says. His manner is friendly. Very well, it is the king after all. Ask what this is about. Follow the messenger. Ask what this is about. I am sorry, the messenger says, but I may not tell you. Let me reassure you, however, that you are not to be punished or anything of the sort. King Poseidonos merely wishes to hear your wisdom as regards of an important matter. We should not tarry, hurry. Follow the messenger. The messenger takes you to his chariot, and together you swiftly ride in the great palace in the center of the capital. It is a splendid place, full of statues and banners and marvelous contraptions. You can't help but wonder what you are doing here. While your work is valuable in its way, you do not usually attract the attention of kings. Enter the throne room. You enter the throne room and are immediately overwhelmed by the size and splendor. Its most impressive feature is a great mosaic on the wall behind the throne, showing the history of Atlantis, 1,000 years of culture somehow embedded in a single titanic work of art. Examine the mosaic, look for the king. Examine it. The sheer amount of work this must have taken, every stone carefully selected for shape and color, placed perfectly to complement the others. So many small elements working together to evoke a larger whole. What an accomplishment, and what dedication it must have taken. Welcome, friend, the King of Atlantis greets you. Bow before him. No, do not bow, my friend. You may be a farmer and I may be a king, but we are both citizens of Atlantis, and perhaps your knowledge is more valuable than mine, for you know the ways of the land, of which I know little. Though I am said to be its master, that's why I've called you here, you see. I require the wisdom of a farmer. He hands you a scroll. Read the scroll. You read the scroll with growing horror, because you know what you are reading is true. You felt the tremors, the land had shifted, that's why you found that strange stone earlier today. Atlantis is sinking, not someday, not in the far future, but soon, terribly soon, confirm the truth. The king sighs. I was afraid of this, he says, but I hope we were wrong, that somehow, but it is pointless. What is. This is the world we were born into, and that is what we must accept. The end of Atlantis is upon us. Ask what can be done, say there is no hope, curse the gods. What can be done? Tell me, what is the heart of Atlantis, the king inquires. Art, the people, the knowledge. I would feel like knowledge. Although the mosaic we viewed was pretty detailed. Maybe the art. Also, it's storming outside. If the power goes out and I lose all this footage, I'm going to be really pissed. The heart of Atlantis is its art, you say. Its stories, its paintings, its sculptures, they are the truest expression of who we are. Poseidon has gazed upon the mosaic above his throne. And that is what must be saved, and you will help us save it. But how? There is not much time. The sages have discovered our fate only this morning, and they are certain the final earthquake is nearly at hand. If there had been more time. He stares out of the window wistfully for a few moments, then gathers himself. There is no time for what-ifs, I'm afraid. Here, take this. The king's golden scepter. The sailors will obey you. Why me? Why not you? Why a king? And why not any other citizen? As I said before, you possess more wisdom than I. Who was made the king only because of my birth. Yes, my lord. Poseidonus laughs. I am not a lord, my friend. I do not believe I am even a king. I am simply another mortal, trying to find meaning in an indifferent cosmos. My final act, perhaps the only true choice I ever made, was to select you for this task. My time is over. You must go now. Head for the harbor. Escorted by the same messenger who brought you here, you head for the harbor. Take the chariot to get there quickly, walk, see the city one last time. Let's see the city. You decide to take the winding back streets that lead to the harbor. It's not the fastest route, but it's a chance to see the city one last time. You still can't entirely believe that any of this is happening, but some part of you needs this. The streets are dark, but the darkness is interrupted by laughter and light spilling from the taverns and homes. People of Atlantis love to spend their nights with joy. Some are playing music, others are playing games. There is food and drink and lovemaking and storytelling under the stars. The earth rumbles, but no one pays much attention. Small earthquakes are common here. Let's hurry. Hurrying as much as possible, you and the messenger arrive in the harbor. 12 great ships are waiting. Their captains see the golden scepter you are carrying and kneel before you. They have tears in their eyes, but you sense their determination. Speak to the captains of the ships. Speak to the captains. You speak briefly, but with great conviction, telling the captains how important their task is. If they fail now, it was all for nothing. If they succeed, they will save the heart of Atlantis. Load the ships. You give the order to start loading the ships and all the great Atlantean art that can be transported. Even as you do, you realize how ridiculous this is. You can only save the tiniest fraction of the astounding art your people have produced. But what art to save? Mostly sculptures, mostly paintings, books, and even balance. You want an even balance, right? Well, I don't know. Let's see. Books have a lot of knowledge that you can read over and over again. The sculptures, get someone else to make those. The paintings is a little more rare than a sculpture. Even balance. You try to save a little of everything, but it is an impossible task. Who are you to judge what gets saved and what doesn't? And yet there is simply no time to debate what is best and most important. You give orders, but you don't really have a plan. The ships begin to fill up with a random selection of artworks. The ground shakes more and more. Get ready to set sail. The ships are ready, the messenger says. It is time for you to set sail. You are not coming? You ask, surprised. I never expected to. There is not enough space on the ships. Stay behind so he can go. Say goodbye. See ya. Goodbye, friend, he says. I am sorry you had to make this choice. No one should have to. Remember us. Having spoken, he turns around and slowly walks back into the heart of the city. Set sail. The time has come. You set sail away from Atlantis, away from everything you've ever known. The city seems quiet, at peace. Maybe you're the one who is dying. The island has almost faded completely from view when the earthquake strikes. The land seems to crumble and vanish under the water, the whole world disappearing as if it has never existed. Within minutes, no trace remains of Atlantis except the 12 ships and the choices you made. Sail onward. Days pass. Terrible waves shake the ships. These are the best ships in the Atlantean fleet, and they do not sink. In time, you pass between two great rocky outcroppings into an area of calmer sea. Find a new home. One day you come upon a beautiful, fertile land where a mighty river flows into the sea. You decide this would be a good place to settle, if only for now. As you look at your new home, you suddenly remember the strange ruins you found under your home in Atlantis. And now you understand. Peoples and places come and go in the blink of an eye. The sea rises, the mountains fall, and all that endures is what we pass on to our children, and to our children's children. In their memories, Atlantis may yet live. You can hope. The end. Whatever the hell this says. Seems to be some data got corrupted here. We're gonna ignore that. Is this slightly corrupted data? That's interesting. Can't load the file. Scared. Asmodeus says, I don't want it to end. Comfort with platitude, comfort with philosophy, comfort with mysticism. What is platitude? Never heard of that. I've heard of gratitude, but not platitude. Let's give him some philosophy. All component parts of Gehenna will be preserved, though transformed. They will continue to exist. You do not face oblivion of the same kind as one who remains behind. Sam, hope equals true. Lilith, whatever happens, we're in it together.